You have your exams in less than a week and you don't know what to do? Don't get frustrated. Instead, follow these 6 steps. Step number 1. Don't scroll through your pages. Instead, know your syllabus. Gather all your previous year's question papers and frame a syllabus with all the previously asked questions from each chapter. This lets you identify the most frequently asked questions. Step number 2. Divide in portions. For example, if Chapter 1 has 20 pages, Chapter 2 has 10 pages, Chapter 3 has 5 pages, and Chapter 4 has 2 pages, you mark and label Chapter 1 as a very large, Chapter 2 as large, 3 as medium, and 4 as a very small chapter. Now make a to-do list and add all these chapters in the list. Now there's a problem if you start with a very large or a large chapter. There's a high chance that you get anxious by the amount of portions and give up. Instead, trick your mind. Let me show you how. This here is a simple formula for you to understand the relationship between the chapters you're dealing with. Let me explain. Finishing 3 small chapters, each of 2 pages, is equivalent to finishing 1 medium chapter, which is of 5 pages, which is equivalent to half of a large chapter, equivalent to 1/3 of a very large chapter. So in one session, if you've finished 1/3 of a very large chapter, stop. Do not overwhelm yourself. Do not try to cram. Go ahead and keep marking all the chapters that you've done in your to-do list. This helps you visualize your goals and gives you that extra dopamine boost. Let me give you a pro tip right here. So since I've told you that you shouldn't cram yourself with more than 1/3 of a very large chapter in a sitting, instead, after you've finished 1/3 of a very large chapter, you can go ahead and study a small chapter with it. Combine 1 medium chapter with half of a large chapter and 2 small chapters with 1 medium chapter. This can increase your speed and helps you finish more chapters, more chunk of your syllabus in very little time. Come to step number 3, time division. Here, the first reading is always considered to be a rough reading. You just feel what is there in the chapter and put an outline of all the main points, whatever is included. Here is an example. I've outlined all the main topics under bullet points. The second reading is the core reading. Here, you go ahead and fill up the outline that you've created in the first reading. Jot down points and add all the important things that you're supposed to remember and write under the outline of the first reading. Next comes the most important part of any studying, revision. After you're done with the day's work, have a good night's sleep, rest and recharge. Sleep for at least 8 hours because that will enhance your performance on day 2. The first hour of day 2 has to be revision of day 1 studies. So that's called day 1's active recall. On day 3, the first hour has to be day 1 and day 2's active recall. You will be so surprised to know that as days go by, the recall time gets shorter and shorter and the portions become more and more easier to remember. Still need more time for revision? Don't worry, follow step number 4, teaching and co-learning. Here, you find a study buddy who has the same schedule, caliber, and determination as you. In co-learning, you exchange difficult topics and clear doubts together. Imagine if you're good with chapters 1, 3, and 5, and your buddy is good with chapters 2, 4, and 6. Now, if you teach each other the topics that you know, individually you'll know all the chapters from 1 through 6. This could be a bonus if you're trying to revise a particular topic. Pro tip is that it's a two-way street when you're studying together. Make sure that both of you contribute equally to studies. So choose your buddy wisely. Make sure you stand your grounds when you're always the one making the effort. Step number 5. Timely breaks. You can get really frustrated very soon if you don't take enough breaks. So try Pomodoro technique, where you study for 45 minutes and mandatorily take a break for 15 minutes, or study for 20 minutes and take a break for 5 minutes. This keeps you motivated and doesn't drain all your energy. And finally, step number 6, avoiding distractions. You never realize how much time you waste on social media. reel after reel. All your relationship drama can wait until your exams are over. And this is not the right time for partying and socializing. Stick to a proper sleep schedule. Make sure you're not overly anxious and get a disturbed sleep. So what are you waiting for? Go and ace that exam and stop scrolling through more videos to get more help. You have all the help that you need. For more such videos, subscribe to Smart Scholar.